that it will take military action if the U.S. launches another raid on terrorists on its soil. Dominic DiNatale streaming live from Islamabad. Dominic?
Greg, it will be extraordinarily serious between U.S. and Pakistan relations if something like this were to occur, but the U.S. is most certainly determined to prevent any threats against American targets as it can. And, you know, at the moment, the Pakistanis are in an incredibly embarrassed situation and are playing primarily to the domestic market. There's some very angry Pakistan citizens who believe that the credibility of the Pakistan government and the military here have been completely eroded by the fact that Osama bin Laden was found on American soil. So Yusuf Gilani, the Prime Minister here in Pakistan, is expected to try and placate the angry electorate that he has here by saying that if any such action, any further violations of Pakistani sovereignty takes place, they will do what they can to defend their airspace by any means necessary. It could be a bit of posturing on the Pakistanis' part, but it would most certainly take the relationship between the United States and Pakistan to a brand new low if it actually came to this. Pakistan, particularly the military and the government, are furious that this was a unilateral action by the United States. One can understand perhaps why the United States did it on the loan. In the past, they've been burdened by betrayal from within the Pakistani intelligence sources when they've gone after targets before in the past. You know, they've been hunting Osama bin Laden since 9/11. He was here rather, for 7.5 years, if the details coming from his youngest widow are to be believed. She's been talking to the ISI, the intelligence agency here, and telling them that they were here as early as, I believe, 2004, 2005. They moved to that house sometime in 2006 in Abbottabad, but had been hiding in some very ramshackle buildings in the area of Haripur prior to that. So we'll see what exactly the Prime Minister has got to say to the Pakistani people tomorrow, and whether indeed it is just posturing on his behalf. But the Pakistanis are defiant. They are not happy that it was a unilateral raid by America. And indeed, it's going to up its defences, its radar defences it's got in the west of the country to prevent, or at least try and detect, any further incursions by the US if the US finds further targets in Pakistan and decides to go after them on its own. Greg?
I understand, Dominic, that some of the editorials nationally have been really pretty scathingly critical of the government. Have there been calls for the leadership in both the military and the Pakistani government to resign?
Yeah, not just by a vicious media here in Pakistan, but also by former members of the government. We were hearing from Shah Mahmood Qureshi, who was the former foreign minister until he was sacked by the government recently, saying that both President Zardari and also Yusuf Gilani, the Prime Minister, should quit. But most people really want to see the head of the intelligence services here, Shuja Pasha, quit. He's the equivalent to the head of the CIA. If, you know, Osama bin Laden had been found on US soil, we know exactly what the head of the CIA would have done. He'd have quit on the spot. No resignation at all from anybody in the Pakistani authorities here. Very much indicative of the kind of culture. People in power here are rather arrogant and cling on to power and really don't listen to popular power unless it becomes so overbearing. But now there are so many millions of Pakistanis who are angry and want to see someone go. The pressure is certainly mounting up on the Pakistani authorities. Greg?
Dominic DiNatale streaming live from Islamabad. Dominic, thank you.